We're in the sawmill building this morning, and it's a cold one out there. It's -7 with a wind chill of -15. Boy, is it ever cold. It's been like that for the past couple days anyway. The wind is sort of coming from the west, so it's not too bad. When I get a northerly wind here, it's a challenge sawing lumber because the wind comes right into the sawmill here. If I limit the doors that I open up, it's not so bad. So anyway, I'm in here this morning. I just took the blade off and I need an oil change. My little hour meter is up to 200 hours. I change the oil in the sawmill every 100 hours with a synthetic 5W30. So I'm a couple hours over. I'm going to do that this morning. And I've got 4 logs on the bunk. I need to saw some 1x4 strapping for a friend of mine who's redoing his roof, if he can ever find some good weather. Strapping, or some people call them purlings. So I'm going to saw a bunch of those after I change the oil. But right now I've got the battery charger on because the sawmill won't start. Already replaced the battery in here. I can't remember when. I should have documented when. Might be a couple years now. So anyway, they only last so long, and it's cold in here. So I'm going to give that a little charge, fire that up, and let the engine oil warm up. And I'll change the oil in it. Should fire right up. I love this engine. It's a Kohler 19 horsepower, and it's fuel injection. So it usually fires right up. I can hear the fuel pump running really good there. So that'll fire right up. Really simple to do an oil change on this Kohler engine. I'll just put my oil drain pan on the bottom, 11/16 socket. Got a drain plug on the bottom here. So I've got my engine oil warmed up. Like I say, I use a 530 synthetic, and change the oil every 100 hours. Nice to have an hour meter. I had one for a little while, didn't work, and I rewired a new one. I was just changing the oil periodically, but you really should have a good maintenance schedule and know exactly when it's time to change the oil. Next thing you know, you forget and it overruns. And anyway, there, we'll let that in there. And remove the oil filter. If you're using a synthetic oil, make sure you use the oil filter for a synthetic oil. There's a difference. And by the way, you saw in the hour meter read 200. I've already changed the oil at 100. So as soon as the hour meter reaches 100-hour mark, 100, 200, 300, I know it's time to change the oil. So next oil change will be at 300. So we'll take this oil filter off. What's nice about changing the oil in here, I don't really mind making a mess because there's sawdust everywhere. So, I can just put a bunch of sawdust on the oil drops, and it's a natural oil absorbent. I use a Wix filter. And always remember to put a coat of oil. What I do I just put some oil in my cap, unscrew it, and I've got oil in there. Run my finger in the oil and around my oil filter O-ring. So with the oil filter back on, oil is drained. We'll put the plug back in. Remember never to put that too tight. Just snug. There we go. Take the oil cap off and we'll add some oil. I like having a filter on hand as well as some oil. You know, if all of a sudden I decide to change the oil, I've got some on hand. I don't have to go to the parts store if it's a Sunday morning or whatever. I'm good to go. Oil's kind of thick this morning. Starting to see a little oil on the stick. So when I see a little bit of oil, I'll maybe add a little bit, fire it up, make sure the oil filter's full of oil, and then I'll top it off as necessary. So we have the oil changed. She's nice and topped up. I got a new blade on it. I'll replace the guards, and we'll put a couple 12-footers on the sawmill and see how we make out lumber at, well, it's -9 in here, it's -7 outside. The logs might be quite frozen, so I'm interested to see how we'll make out with that. They do slide nice with all the snow and the ice. That's one thing that's good about winter. how cold it is. Look at this. The sawdust is frozen. This video's workflow in segments is on heated socks. I got these heated socks for a Christmas gift a couple years ago, and they're from Costco. They're merino, I guess that's the way you pronounce it. And they are great. If you're living in a cold climate, to me, they're a must-have. I use them for logging, ATV, riding, working in the sawmill, and even going on hikes on a really cold day. So as you see here, it comes with a couple of lithium batteries. Charge them up, put them in the little pocket in your sock, and they don't bother, you know, on your leg or anything. Even my cat Jasper approves. Try them out, heated socks. These are the ones on Amazon. They range in different prices. They go from $60 to $200, depending on how elaborate you want to go. But merino heated socks. Yeah, so you can get them on Amazon or any local clothing retailer. But when I got them, I thought, oh, this is just another gadget. But I'm telling you, this is... it's a game changer if you're working in the cold. I think I'll end this video here. I just tighten the belt, change that, and I'll probably change the bearing. But if anyone else owns one of these SMG sawmills, SMG Champion, and you have any questions about any of the maintenance or changing something, drop a comment below or shoot me a message. They're really well built. They're Canadian made, SMG Champion Sawmill. You can check them out. I've done a bunch of work on it, and every time there's something to change or to adjust, it's really simple. It's a really simple built sawmill, but it's well made. So, yeah, I did that maintenance. And also, let me know how, if you have a sawmill, I'd like to know how you make out sawing in really cold weather. So we saw it yesterday and we saw it today, and it was like -10. That's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'd like to know how you guys make out. Seems like these spruce logs were frozen on the outside, and I know I've sawed some frozen stuff before and it seems to work pretty good, and some people say it saws really good, the blade goes right through. I find it sometimes challenging. It seems like the blade wants to grab, and it's harder to saw. I have to go a little slower, but it still saws. But I'd like to know anybody else who has a sawmill, how you make out on sawing in frigid temperatures. All right, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.